I get a call from a family member who's down here in the flooded area, and he's like, there's nobody here helping us. There's people getting on the roof. There's water coming in really fast. And so I was like, okay, let me see what I can do. So I come over here, and of course, AFD has the top of the hill blocked off because the water's just raging through right now. So I find a way through the other side. I was here in jeans and a t-shirt. So I went in police uniform. And they were always like, who's this guy making these calls? I remember, at the time, I'm a chief. I'm a chief deputy for Travis County. I just remember just trying to grab as many people as we could, bring them to where it was more shallow. And then, like, immediately, the water started to rescind. We see people walking up the hill full of mud. Some people were pulling people out with, like, Arab mattresses and boats that were just, floating around, and whatever they could to hold on to. We knew people were on the roof. You could see them from afar. You just can't get in there because the water's rushing too fast. I just remember as soon as I got to the top of the hill, I was like, where are they going? So we had Crossroads Baptist Church at the top of the hill. Everybody was meeting there. And then Mike Martinez calls me. He's like, where are you at? Where are you at? I was like, I'm over here at the top of Crossroads. I put on my police lights because now I have my police car with me. And I remember driving through, and the water was still rushing. We're navigating families, go to the top of the hill, go to the top of the hill. And he's like, where are they going? I was like, hey, man, can you open the rec center up? Mike Martinez and Eddie Rodriguez had the rec center open. We started bringing resources there. We could do everything there. The hard part is some of these people didn't have cars. So by that afternoon, a couple of neighborhood members, Edward Reyes, Cynthia Velez Mata, Jamie Zapata, Mona, a couple of residents came out there that lived on my side of the neighborhood, popped up tents, tables, water, food, whatever we can get them right there and then. We were an information booth. This is where you're going to go. Go to the wreck, go to the wreck. Nighttime's coming, right? We had dealt with this the whole day. The next day was very surreal. It was like, oh my God, you got to see the devastation. Like, your trauma is different, how you absorb from my trauma. My trauma is to first respond. And then in my head, I give you 4 R's, right? It's respond, rescue, recover, rebuild. And everybody keeps saying, what does recovery mean? So we recover bodies. We recover the dead. That's what we do. And I think the whole time I was just in my head, just help people, help people, help people. And it just felt like the day was just so long, like we're moving too slow. Finally, we had more play with the city and coming in, and I remember going to the EOC, and they said, what do you need from me? And we said, we need canopies, we need lights, we need, I called them golf carts. They gave us gators. I said, we need an endless supply of water. We need cleaning materials, food, And it became a focal point at Pleasant Valley and Quicksilver. People don't understand, it was 659 homes, probably 1,200 people. You know what I mean? And it's like 1,200 people is like 1,200 people that you know of. It's almost 3,000 people down here. And I remember, here comes Christmas. Here comes New Year's, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving came first, and we were bringing food and stuff down here. We already made plates. I remember Christmas was tough, and our board at the time, we kind of like took a fund collection together, people making donations, and because I didn't want to give anybody cash, we got the board to approve gift cards. So we had all these $50 gift cards made, and we would come up and say, okay, how many people are in your household? It was like, okay, there's 4 of us. Okay, we can give you $50. You get something to eat. I think it's like January 15th, right? And 15th, 16th, somewhere around there. And I'm like, we got to go back down. We come back down here, making sure everybody, it's a new year, make sure everybody had a good Christmas and everything like that. I needed to make sure that nobody else that we missed. So we finally got them all housed, and people got permits. And I think it was sometime in January when we kind of lifted the rec stayed open for 30 days, 35 days for shelters. And it was, when do you know when to pull back? Because obviously I know in law enforcement, you kind of see it. Okay, it's time to pull back. But when it's your neighbors and your family members, you want to keep helping. So that's what drew me a lot of emotion. Because, like, where was the help? It wasn't there. Did they answer our questions, our calls when we were calling? I literally called 911. There was no response. It was one of those things that I was really desperate of trying to get so much help out here. And when Delia Garza took office, man, it just seemed like we had a breath of fresh air, because we were getting, now 2015 comes, we're getting all the resources. But 13, it was like, shit, who do you call? Look at the families, look at the babies. The picture, the most pictures, I'm walking down and I see a lady with her baby full of mud, right? And I'm like, Jesus, Nobody's helping these people. And I could see the kids being pulled up by the boat. Well, not really boats, or like air mattresses or something. And I was like, let me go grab them. So we get them up, we walk up the hill. And then I just remember there was families like, can we help? It's like, take these kids up there, take these kids up there. I tell people I lived it. You know, I didn't lose my home in 13. I was affected in 15, but I lived it with them. My trauma was different. My trauma was like, I want you to get as much help as you can, and I can't help you. So I was getting a little upset with a lot of things that were being moved around at the time. But I think in the long run, with Delia Garza being in there, Greg Kassar being in there, because I remember driving Greg Kassar in 2015, him and Delia, there was just things were changing. The response time was faster. It was like, we know we have a protocol now. And to think, if nobody would have made those noises, nobody would organize these neighborhoods, what would have happened? We go back to the same bullshit that happens every time. Or it's a flood, give them food, give them water, find them another place to live. It's happened for so long that you're so used to it, but then when you start seeing people die, it bothers you. It really does. And it's like, what could we do to prevent stuff like that? It gets tough. It gets tough. But that's what I take away from it, how fast you can respond, how much more noise you can make to get people help. You know, I don't know, I'm blessed to be where I'm at, right? I don't know how long I'm gonna be doing this for, but I teach my kids the same way. Be humble, be helpful, be a good neighbor.